Am I the AITA for destroying my boyfriend's fake engagement ring after his proposal prank? I, 27 female, just found out I destroyed an $8,000 engagement ring, and my boyfriend, 29 male, is saying I need to pay for half of it. I think he's insane, and this is 100% his fault. Last month, Jake took me to this fancy rooftop restaurant overlooking the city. We've been together for 4 years, so when he got down on one knee, I genuinely thought it was happening. He pulled out this ring box, opened it, and inside was this absolutely gorgeous diamond ring. I said yes, started crying, called my mom from the table, the whole thing. It was literally the happiest moment of my life. Then Jake started laughing, like really laughing. He told me to look closer at the ring. I was confused, and he kept laughing and said, "It's cubic zirconia. You really thought I'd propose at a chain restaurant? This was a test to see if you're a gold digger or if you'd be happy either way." I was mortified. The tables around us had been clapping, and now everyone was staring. I took off the ring, put it back in the box, told him he was an asshole, and left. I was absolutely humiliated and heartbroken. For the next 2 weeks, Jake kept joking about his successful test and showing his friends the video he took of my gullible reaction. He'd wave the ring box around and laugh about how convincing his acting was. I was furious and hurt, but he said I was being too sensitive and couldn't take a joke. He kept the ring in our apartment as a souvenir of his epic prank. Last week, I'd had enough. When Jake was at work, I took the ring, drove to the beach, and threw it as far into the ocean as I could. I sent him a video of me doing it with the caption, "How's this for a reaction? Hope your fake ring enjoyed its swim." I felt vindicated. He'd humiliated me, so I destroyed his stupid prank prop. Then Jake came home and had a complete meltdown. Turns out, the ring was real. It was an $8,000 diamond ring his grandmother left him. He claims he was planning to really propose at Christmas and wanted to test me first with a fake proposal to make sure I wasn't materialistic, but then kept the real ring in the box because I honestly don't even understand his logic. He's demanding I pay $4,000 to replace it since I destroyed it without asking. He says I should have known he wouldn't keep a fake ring for 2 weeks and that I'm completely insane for throwing away jewelry without checking if it was real. But here's what I think. He told me it was fake. He called it a prank. He humiliated me in public and spent 2 weeks mocking me. How was I supposed to know the ring was real when he specifically said it wasn't? My friends are split. Some say I should have asked before destroying it, but others say this is entirely his fault for lying and being cruel. He's now saying if I don't pay him $4,000, he's taking me to small claims court.
Okay, let's get one thing out of the way right now. That guy is an absolute idiot. Honestly, I'm okay with proposals that are a bit original with a fun setup, but this one was cruel. That's not something this girl will want to remember for the rest of her life. Then, this idiot compounds his mistakes by telling her the real precious thing is actually a cubic zirconia ring and putting it in front of her face for days. The guy is literally using that ring to humiliate his girlfriend, and then he's surprised when there's a reaction. Honestly, genius, couldn't you anticipate that a little bit? So far, it looks like the boyfriend is clearly the a-hole here. But we seem to have an update, so let's see how the story unfolds.
Update. He actually took me to court, and the judge's reaction was wild. Jake wasn't bluffing. He filed a small claims case against me for $4,000. I consulted with a lawyer friend who said I should countersue for emotional distress. We went to court last week, and honestly, the judge was not having Jake's nonsense. Jake presented his case, the ring was real, worth $8,000, he had an appraisal, and I destroyed it maliciously. Then I showed the judge the video Jake took of his prank proposal and the texts where he spent 2 weeks calling me gullible and mocking me for believing it was real. The judge literally interrupted Jake mid-sentence and said, "So you lied to your girlfriend, told her an engagement was fake, humiliated her publicly, mocked her for weeks, and now you're surprised she treated the ring exactly how you told her to treat it, as worthless?" Jake tried to explain his test logic, and the judge actually laughed and said, "That's the dumbest thing I've heard this month, and I see a lot of stupid cases." Case dismissed. The judge said Jake's own words proved I had every reason to believe the ring was fake, and that you don't get to lie about something's value and then sue when someone believes you. Jake is furious and claims the judge was biased against men. We're obviously broken up now. His mom called me crying, not because of the ring, but because it was her mother's ring, and Jake used a family heirloom for a prank. She's now not speaking to him either. I'm just relieved this nightmare is over.
Okay, so Mr. Idiot doesn't know when to stop. After all this, he has the audacity to take his girlfriend to small claims court. How do you expect to keep a girlfriend you wanted to marry after you take her to court? I mean, that's completely delusional. I think the way the judge put him back in his place is priceless, and I'm glad that at least for OP the story has a happy ending. I mean, no, she's not married, but honestly, did she really want to be married to that guy? That idiot? She dodged a bullet here. The only sad thing is that Mr. Idiot's mother lost her ring, which clearly had a lot of sentimental value for her. But then again, she raised an idiot son, so what do you expect? Before we move on to the second story, let me take 30 seconds to talk about our sponsor, the ebook Echoes of the Soul Keeper by Eric Van Hayes, also known as me. It's actually a multi-genre book that combines a bit of thriller, a bit of corporate espionage, quite a lot of supernatural elements, as well as a romantic story. It's about a forensic accountant who ends up stepping into a supernatural conspiracy while auditing a coffee shop. She ends up in a bit of a love triangle and a lot of mystery. The book is well worth picking up if you like any of those genres. It's available pretty much everywhere ebooks are sold, such as Amazon, Kobo, Apple Books, Nook, and more. Now let's move to the second story, AITA for throwing my rings in the ocean after my husband told me he had an affair, even though it was a prank? Oh my god, this also looks like an expensive mistake.
AITA for throwing my rings in the ocean after my husband told me he had an affair, even though it was a prank? This is the dumbest thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. This past Sunday, my husband and I, M29 and F27, were on our boat together. We were just relaxing and talking and having a good morning. All of a sudden, my husband gets really serious and tells me, "Baby, I'm so sorry, but I have to tell you something. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I had an affair." For context, my husband thinks he's a comedian. He says dumb shit all the time, but he's never joked about our marriage or relationship or cheating, ever. The way he said it, I fully believed him. I was blinded by rage and hurt, and I'm not a confrontational person at all, so all I did was stand up, take my rings off, and throw them into the ocean. I don't even know why I did it. It was just the first thing I thought of doing. My husband's jaw hit the floor. He immediately started to yell at me that it was a joke, a prank, he wasn't serious, and I was an idiot. My jaw dropped then too.
No!
I yelled at him too and called him the same. I cried too, realizing I just threw my lovely and sentimental rings into the ocean. We've been arguing for days. He says ITA, I say he's the TA, and I have no idea who's right. Yes, admittedly, I threw about 10K worth of rings into the ocean and we will never find them again. But he looked me in my eyes and told me he had an affair. I am upset about my rings. I've apologized for throwing them, but I just don't feel like the TA.
Okay, looks like we have Mr. Idiot number 2. I mean, come on, you can do a joke, but that kind of joke is cruel, especially if you do it with a serious face. The guy shouldn't accuse his wife of being the a-hole. He's certainly the one. I understand it may not be easy to replace such an expensive ring, but I think he should actually buy a new ring because for me, it's 100% his fault this happened. Was it smart for his wife to throw the ring overboard? Of course not. But she was in shock, and people do stupid things without thinking when they're in shock. Hopefully, Mr. Idiot number 2 has now learned to be a bit more discerning with his jokes, but that will have been a very, very expensive lesson. Now it's time for the big reveal. Which of these stories was actually fake? It's not going to be easy this time because both men were equally stupid and the stories are quite similar. I'll give you 3 seconds to make up your mind. 3, 2, 1. And the fake story was AITA for destroying my boyfriend's fake engagement ring after his proposal prank. I hope you enjoyed the stories. If you did, don't hesitate to give it a like. If you want more of this kind of content, please follow the channel. That way you'll be informed when I release a new video, and it also helps the channel grow. That's all for today, and I'll see you in a week for the next video. Bye-bye.